What if I told you a single sardine could change your entire life? Yeah, I know, sounds like something only a hungry cat like me would say. But stay with me, human, because the truth is, I used to be just another broke alley cat, chasing rats, begging for scraps, dreaming of a warm spot to sleep. I thought riches were for the fat cats uptown, those who never missed a meal. Until one night, under the glow of a streetlight and the smell of leftover tuna, I learned the secret the rich never tell you. It wasn't about hunting faster or catching more sardines. It was about what you do with the ones you already have. You see, most cats devour everything they catch. I did too. But then I realized, if a sardine can attract another sardine, and those two bring friends, soon you're not chasing food, you're feeding from abundance. That's the magic of what I call compound sardines. It's how I went from zero to my first million without a single human handout. So sharpen your claws and open your ears, because I'm about to show you how a broke street cat turned every tiny fish into an ocean of wealth. Meow! Let's begin. My name's Lupe. Yeah, that black cat everyone used to hiss at in the alley behind the fish market. I wasn't born with a golden collar or a shiny bowl. I was born with claws, curiosity, and an empty stomach. Every night was the same hunt. Chase a rat, steal a sardine, sleep on cold concrete. I used to think that's just how life was for cats like me. Always one paw away from hunger. But something inside me kept scratching, whispering that there had to be more than surviving day by day. Why do some cats live surrounded by bowls full of tuna while the rest of us fight for crumbs? Is it luck? Is it some secret fishy trick? Or maybe, just maybe, the real difference isn't in the size of the fish, but in the way we think about them. That question wouldn't leave me alone. So I decided to stop chasing and start watching, to study how those fat, shiny cats made their fortunes. And that's when I discovered that building wealth, even for a scruffy street cat, has nothing to do with how many sardines you catch, but everything to do with how many you dare to save, protect, and multiply. That's when my real story began. The story of how one black cat learned to turn a single sardine into a fortune. What if I told you a single sardine could change your entire life? Yeah, I know, sounds like something only a hungry cat like me would say. But stay with me, human, because the truth is, I used to be just another broke alley cat, chasing rats, begging for scraps, dreaming of a warm spot to sleep. I thought riches were for the fat cats uptown, those who never missed a meal. Until one night, under the glow of a streetlight and the smell of leftover tuna, I learned the secret the rich never tell you. It wasn't about hunting faster or catching more sardines. It was about what you do with the ones you already have. You see, most cats devour everything they catch. I did too. But then I realized, if a sardine can attract another sardine, and those two bring friends, soon you're not chasing food, you're feeding from abundance. That's the magic of what I call compound sardines. It's how I went from zero to my first million without a single human handout. So sharpen your claws and open your ears, because I'm about to show you how a broke street cat turned every tiny fish into an ocean of wealth. Meow! Let's begin. My name's Lupe. Yeah, that black cat everyone used to hiss at in the alley behind the fish market. I wasn't born with a golden collar or a shiny bowl. I was born with claws, curiosity, and an empty stomach. Every night was the same hunt. Chase a rat, steal a sardine, sleep on cold concrete. I used to think that's just how life was for cats like me. Always one paw away from hunger. but something inside me kept scratching, whispering that there had to be more than surviving day by day. Why do some cats live surrounded by bowls full of tuna while the rest of us fight for crumbs? Is it luck? Is it some secret fishy trick? Or maybe, just maybe, the real difference isn't in the size of the fish, but in the way we think about it.
Days turned into weeks. I hunted a little, saved a little. Each time I caught a sardine, I kept one aside, hiding it away, imagining it growing, multiplying. Of course, other cats mocked me. "Lupe has lost it," they laughed. "He's hoarding dead fish." They called me the weird dock cat, and honestly, sometimes I believed them. The smell was terrible. My stomach howled. But deep down, I felt something changing. I wasn't chasing desperation anymore. I was building something, even if I couldn't see it yet. Then came the storm. The sea raged for 2 nights, washing away everything: the docks, the crates, even the old fisherman's boat. When I finally crept back out, soaked and shivering, I ran to where I'd hidden my sardines. My paws dug into the mud, and my heart nearly stopped. They were gone, every last one. I felt empty, foolish, like all my effort had been for nothing. I lay there in the rain, claws buried in the dirt, and I swore I'd never try to be smart again. But just when I was ready to give up, I saw movement in the puddle beside me. Small, silver, flickering. Tiny sardines! At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks, but then I saw more and more. My hidden fish hadn't vanished. The storm had carried them into a shallow pool by the rocks, and there, somehow, they had multiplied. The puddle shimmered with life. My buried sardines had become a living school. My jaw dropped open. My fur bristled with disbelief. It was real. Compound sardines. The idea that changed everything. From that day, I never looked at a fish the same way again. I realized wealth isn't about having, it's about growing. It's about giving what you have the time and the space to become more. Every sardine I caught after that, I treated like a seed. Some I ate to stay alive, but others I invested. Not in the sea, but in opportunities. I found safer spots, learned from the fishermen, watched how they built their fortunes by saving bait, reinvesting in better nets, and waiting for the tides to turn. I saw the pattern. Patience creates abundance. The old me would have laughed at such nonsense. A cat saving sardines? Ridiculous! But the new me, the Lupe who had seen fish multiply under a storm, knew better. I started keeping a mental count of my compound sardines. Each day, I asked myself, did I grow my pile or shrink it? Did I act like a hungry alley cat or a wise investor? And slowly, the answers began to shift. I wasn't starving anymore. I wasn't just surviving. I was strategizing. Soon, the other cats began to notice. My fur looked shiner, my eyes sharper, my steps lighter. They asked, "Lupe, what's your secret?" And I'd just smile and say, "Sardines multiply when you stop chasing them." Of course, they didn't get it. They wanted the shortcut, the fat catch, the easy meal. But I had already learned, there are no shortcuts in the game of fish or finance, only habits. The daily choice between now and later, between hunger and harvest. And that's how I discovered the power of compound sardines, the mysterious, magical, maddening truth that patience turns crumbs into banquets, one disciplined paw at a time. From that night on, I stopped living like a hunter and started thinking like a builder. Because once you understand that every sardine can be the beginning of a fortune, you'll never see the ocean the same way again. After discovering the secret of the compound sardines, my paws itched with purpose. I wasn't just a street cat anymore. I was an investor in fish futures. But turning one silver-scaled miracle into a real fortune wasn't easy. I had to unlearn every instinct that told me to eat first and think later. The alleyways were still rough, the nights still cold, and temptation still curd in every corner. But this time, I had a plan, a roadmap scratched into my mind like claw marks on wood. I was going to build wealth from scratch, one sardine at a time. The first lesson came on what I now call Day 1, understanding the ocean. Every wise cat knows you can't catch what you don't understand. For years, I'd been jumping blindly into the water, chasing any shiny tail that passed by. But now, I began to study the currents, how fish moved, where they hid, how the tides changed. I realized money was just like the sea, full of opportunity, but deadly to those who rush in without learning the rules. So I sat by the docks and listened to the fishermen talk. Terms like interest, returns, and risk floated around me like gulls in the sky. At first, it sounded like nonsense, but soon I understood these were the claws and teeth of the financial hunt. Once I grasped the rhythm of the ocean, I wasn't lost anymore. Day 2 was all about safety, the art of protecting what you already have. I called this the fixed fish reef. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. Every sardine I saved, I hid in places where no rat could reach. I learned from old fishermen about safe nets and reliable traps, the feline version of what humans called fixed income. Small, predictable returns that don't make you purr with excitement, but keep your bowl from going empty. I realized that the first step to getting rich isn't catching more, it's losing less. Even a hungry cat can't grow a pile if every sardine slips through the cracks. By day 3, I had my first taste of progress. My stash was growing, slowly but surely. I called it my starter shoal. Every time I looked at it, my whiskers tingled with pride. But I knew I couldn't stop there. Playing it safe might fill a bowl, but it would never buy freedom. So I turned my eyes toward the risky oceans, the places no cautious cat dared to swim. That was day 4. The sea of opportunities where sardines move fast, where one catch could change everything or leave you with nothing but wet fur and regret. It was terrifying, but I remembered the golden rule. Invest what you can afford to lose, protect what you can't. I began by studying other cats who had conquered these waters, the real estate cats, the stock cats, the ones who owned pieces of the ocean itself. They didn't chase fish, they built reefs, invested in currents, and waited for the tides to bring wealth to them. I wanted to be like them. I started small, catching opportunities instead of meals. A few sardines here, a few there, nothing fancy. Some of my choices flopped like old tuna, but others, they grew. The first time I saw my investment double, I nearly coughed up a hairball from excitement. That's when I understood. The sea rewards patience, not panic. Day 5 was my favorite, the lesson of expansion. Once my sardines started multiplying, I realized I could reinvest the offspring. Every baby fish was a soldier in my growing army of abundance. Instead of spending my new catches on extra naps or shiny toys, I put them back to work. I upgraded my hiding spots, found safer pools, diversified my stash. Part in shells, part in driftwood, part under the fisherman's shack. I learned that real wealth isn't one big fish. It's a school that moves together. Diversify your catches, and no storm can wipe you out. Then came the digital currents. I'd heard whispers among the seagulls and the street cats about a mysterious kind of fish, invisible sardines, born from lightning and code. Humans called them crypto, but to me, they were phantom fish, fast, wild, untamed. Some cats dove in too deep and never resurfaced. I watched, I studied, I learned. I invested just one sardine's worth, testing the waters. Some days I gained, others I lost, but every rise and fall taught me more about risk and rhythm. The phantom fish taught me not to fear change, only ignorance. Still, wealth isn't just about catching fish, it's about guarding them. So I added one final rule to my playbook: protect your fortune. I'd seen too many cats lose everything to storms, rats, or pure greed. I began to think like a guardian instead of a hunter. I set aside sardines for emergencies, for sickness, accidents, the claws of fate. I learned that peace of mind is the greatest treasure of all. A cat who sleeps soundly guards more than fish. He guards his future. Weeks passed, then months. My stash grew beyond anything I had imagined. The Lupe who once begged for scraps was now the Lupe who planned tides. My fur shone with confidence. My eyes reflected not hunger, but vision. Other cats started to notice. They asked me for advice, called me Lupe the Wise, the Black Cat of Fortune. I told them the same thing every time. Start with one sardine. Don't wait for the perfect catch. Just begin. Because that's the real secret of wealth, my furry friends. It's not about luck. It's about habits, about showing up every day with your claws sharpened, your instincts calm, and your eyes on the horizon. Every sardine you save is a promise to your future self. Every investment is a paw print towards freedom. The magic isn't in the fish, it's in the patience. It's in resisting the urge to feast now so you can swim in abundance later. That's how I built my fortune from scratch. No handouts, no miracles, no golden collars. Just claws, courage, and compound sardines. I started as a stray chasing crumbs and ended as a builder of tides. And if an alley cat like me can turn hunger into wealth, imagine what you, with your opposable thumbs and fancy gadgets, could do with the same discipline. The sea of opportunity is endless, but only those who learn to wait will taste the sweetest fish. And trust me, once you get a taste of true abundance, you'll never go back to chasing rats again.
There comes a moment in every cat's life when the moonlight hits just right, when the night feels electric, and you realize you're no longer the same creature who once clawed through trash for scraps. For me, that night came after countless tides, after seasons of saving, waiting, and learning the rhythm of the ocean. I stood on the pier, my tail flicking in the salty breeze, staring down at the reflection of a cat I barely recognized. Sleek fur, calm eyes, no longer desperate or hungry, but full of quiet fire. The journey from one sardine to a million wasn't about luck. It was about a transformation that went deeper than my claws could reach. I still remember the day I saw it, my millionth sardine. Not literally a pile of slippery silver fish stacked in front of me, but the number glowing inside my mind. The realization that everything I had built, every choice to save instead of devour, every night I fought temptation, had compounded into something far greater than I ever imagined. I'd done it, from 0 to 1 million. My heart raced like the first time I chased a rat through the alleys, but this time it wasn't hunger driving me. It was pride, purpose, power. But let me tell you, that last stretch before the million is the hardest. The sea tests you. It whispers lies. Spend it, it says. You've earned it. You deserve a feast. And oh, how my whiskers twitched with the temptation. Fancy tuna cans, golden collars, silk cushions, all the things the rich cats flaunted. But every time I felt my paws slipping toward greed, I remembered the storm. The one that washed away my hidden stash, but gave me the gift of compound sardines. I remember the pain of loss and the sweetness of patience, and I chose again, not to eat, but to grow. Then came the night of the revelation. The moon was full, the tide high, and I had gone to visit the place where my first sardine had multiplied years before. The sea was calm, almost too calm, like it was holding its breath. I sat quietly, eyes closed, feeling the rhythm of the waves, in and out, just like the flow of wealth, just like the pulse of life. And then it happened. A shimmer beneath the surface, faint at first, then brighter, spreading like moonlight underwater. Thousands, tens of thousands, maybe more, sardines moving together in one giant living wave. My heart thudded in my chest. It was them, the offspring of my patience, the proof that discipline could bend reality. They moved like silver light made flesh, swirling in patterns I couldn't describe, abundance made visible. It wasn't about fish anymore. It was about understanding how the universe rewards consistency. Every sardine in that glowing tide was a reminder. Small actions repeated with faith can create miracles that even the smartest humans can't explain. I dipped my paw into the water, feeling the cool rush of energy. And for the first time, I didn't feel like a stray cat or even a clever one. I felt like a creator. And then I laughed, a deep rolling purr that echoed across the dock. I realized how absurdly simple it all was. The rule had been there all along, scratched into the bones of nature. Everything compounds. The seeds, the tides, the habits, the choices. Even a single sardine can become an empire if you give it time. My million wasn't a pile of fish or coins. It was freedom. Freedom from fear, from hunger, from the endless chase. I didn't need to prove anything anymore. I had already won the game most never understand their plan. I thought back to the younger version of me. Thin, scrappy, angry at the world. The one who blamed luck, who cursed the fat cats on their balconies. I wish I could tell him what I'd learned. That wealth isn't stolen, it's cultivated. That every time he devoured a sardine too soon, he was eating his future. That patience isn't weakness, it's the sharpest claw of all. If only he knew that one disciplined act, repeated long enough, could rewrite his destiny. As I watched the living tide shimmer under the stars, something inside me shifted. For years, I'd thought the goal was the million, that the number itself was the trophy. But now I saw the truth. The real treasure wasn't the sardines. It was who I had become while earning them. A cat who could resist instinct, who could delay pleasure, who could see beyond the next meal. That's the real wealth, the kind that no storm can wash away. And in that moment, I understood why most never reach their million. Because they give up when it's hardest. They eat when they should save. They fear the stillness that comes before growth. The ocean rewards the patient, not the hungry. I smiled, flicked my tail, and whispered into the night, "Thank you, compound sardines." It sounded ridiculous, but I meant every word. They had taught me more than any human book or guru could. The sound of wings broke my thoughts. A flock of gulls swooping down to steal a few fish from the glowing tide. I didn't chase them, let them have their crumbs. I had already learned the secret. There's always more fish in the sea for those who know how to wait. I turned my back to the waves and began to walk toward the city lights, my paws silent on the wood. Behind me, the ocean whispered like an old friend. Ahead of me, endless possibilities stretched out. New currents to explore, new sardines to multiply.
My million wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something far bigger. A life lived not in fear of hunger, but in harmony with abundance. And as the night wrapped around me, I purred softly, a sound full of peace and victory. From 0 to 1,000,000, not through claws or cunning, but through patience, faith, and the magic of compound sardines. If a stray cat can master that, what's stopping you? So here's the truth, my curious human. The ocean that fed me can feed you too. You don't need luck, a miracle, or a mountain of sardines. You just need one, and the courage not to eat it. Start small, start messy, start today. Save a little, invest a little. Let your habits multiply like my compound sardines beneath the moonlight. Every sardine you protect is a future feast. Don't chase the rats of instant pleasure, chase the peace of lasting abundance. If a scrappy black cat like me can turn hunger into freedom, imagine what you could build with the same claws of discipline. Now go, human, find your first sardine, guard it fiercely, and watch your ocean come alive. Meow to that.
So here's the truth, my curious human. The ocean that fed me can feed you too. You don't need luck, a miracle, or a mountain of sardines. You just need one, and the courage not to eat it. Start small, start messy, start today. Save a little, invest a little. Let your habits multiply like my compound sardines beneath the moonlight. Every sardine you protect is a future feast. Don't chase the rats of instant pleasure, chase the peace of lasting abundance. If a scrappy black cat like me can turn hunger into freedom, imagine what you could build with the same claws of discipline. Now go, human, find your first sardine, guard it fiercely, and watch your ocean come alive. Meow to that.